Every white South African is racist. Every single one. Including you. Including me. We were born into a racist country, raised by racist systems, taught by racist textbooks, and disciplined by racist norms.
I don't like the fact that we're supposed to be quiet because it's white South Africans getting slaughtered in genocide, but, you know, it's whatever.
So in South Africa, the South African government and South African president have just signed off on a law which makes it legal for land seizures or land expropriation, as they call it, from white farmers.
The fact that white South Africans only make up 7% of the population in South Africa, yet they own 70% of the land in South Africa, says everything it needs to say.
For all South Africans, he doesn't stand for one South African. And that is the only way we're going to grow as people. I think, in my view, I just wish racism would end. I'm tired of racism. I'm tired of it. And we need to move on. We can't forget, but we can forgive.
Every white South African is racist. Every single one. Including you. Including me. We were born into a racist country, raised by racist systems, taught by racist textbooks, and disciplined by racist norms. Unless you've been consciously deprogrammed, that requires pain, effort, and education, you are still operating from a racist framework. Having black friends doesn't erase your racism. Voting for black politicians, no. Sleeping with someone of another race? Still racist. Whiteness isn't just calling someone a slur. It's the silent belief that whiteness is neutral and everything else is different. I don't see color while bleaching your hair and contouring your face. You see color just fine. You just don't want to deal with what it means. The entire education system would collapse overnight if we taught the truth. Apartheid wasn't resolved and whiteness is still centered. Your skin color isn't the problem. Your silence is. Your comfort is. Humanity expresses itself in shades, and racism denies that expression. South Africa, we're still living in the lie.
So when it's the white people in South Africa getting our throats cut and unalived in mass, nobody wants to talk about it, huh? That's fine. We don't got to talk about it. Because that's the real difference between this side and the other side, is that we don't really get our feelings hurt over shit like that. You know, we don't need to talk about the fact that, 80 to 90% of Africa's entire resources come from the Caucasian farmers. We don't need to talk about that. And everybody wants to just throw it up under the bus when it's white genocide, right? Why? Because we got it coming to us? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Do all of the Caucasians have it coming to them for the rest of time? So no matter what happens on this earth, whenever the white people are slaughtered in mass, we don't get to say anything, right? Because we were the only ones in society throughout history that participated in slavery, right? So we got it coming to us, right? So at this point, I'm convinced that the Democratic Party and the left are just, beyond. Something's wrong with y'all. Like, y'all are just inciting hate at this point. I guess you're just expecting us, to snap back? Like we're not supposed to be offended that, white farmers are getting slaughtered in mass in South Africa. Of course we're offended. But that's the difference between us. Is what shit happens. I'm not going to go around blaming every other person on earth because a bunch of dumbass people do a bunch of dumbass shit. But I don't like the fact that we can't talk about it. I don't like the fact that we're supposed to be quiet because it's white South Africans getting slaughtered in genocide, but, it's whatever. White, call it what you want. I'm sure there's a bunch of adjectives we can throw together for that. But either way, if you're not convinced yet that the real problem in this country is the left and in the mainstream media who weaponize the truth against its own people, I got nothing for you. This is beyond anything I've experienced in my lifetime. We are absolutely fighting a spiritual battle right now in this country. battle between good and evil. It goes way beyond politics. But if you're the kind of bootlicker that's going to always make it about race, then don't know what else to tell you. Go fuck yourself.
You may have missed this, it's not been on the news. So in South Africa, the South African government and South African president have just signed off on a law which makes it legal for land seizures or land expropriation, as they call it, from white farmers. Basically what this law says is that if anyone can show that there's been any historical reason or historical abuse that's gone on by the landowners or by the farmers, even going back 50, 100 years when apartheid was in place, then that land can now just be seized from those farmers or expropriated and given to the South African black population. Now many people might say, well yeah, under apartheid this land was taken wrongly, there was abuse by those people, but that may well have been 50, 80, 100, 150 years ago, and in many cases the land may not have been seized. It was just used for farming. And yes, those grandparents or great-grandparents may not have been the nicest of people, but what this is going to cause is exactly what happened in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe used to be recognised as the breadbasket of Africa. It was a very agriculturally rich and very rich country, and then Robert Mugabe took it over, passed very similar laws. Sorry about that. Very similar laws which took away all the farmland from people, and it turned much of the farmland in Zimbabwe into dust bowls. It caused mass starvation, mass poverty, mass migration. It absolutely destroyed the country. And I would imagine very similar things are going to happen now in South Africa. There's been huge violence against white farmers that's not been making the news. Rapes, murders, burnings, pillage of those farms. And now that's just been made legal. So what's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is, other than the very, very toughest, all those farmers are going to flee their land. The farms are going to get handed over to people that don't know how to run them, don't know how to run agriculture properly, don't know how to farm properly, and they're going to fall apart. And that's going to lead to starvation, it's going to lead to poverty, it's going to lead to all the workers that currently work on those farms getting thrown out of work, and it's going to lead to the collapse of the South African farming industry completely. And yet that's apparently a good thing, and it's all in the name of equality. Well done.
The fact that white South Africans only make up 7% of the population in South Africa, yet they own 70% of the land in South Africa, says everything it needs to say. And then you've got people saying, oh, they're being slaughtered. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're just being told that they have to now live in equality. And their land is not being stolen from them. They are being taken to court for stealing the land of other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your land was stolen by somebody, wouldn't you want to take them to court to get your land back? Absolutely. Absolutely. So these white South Africans are not running away from being slaughtered or injustices. They're running away from equality.
I love my country dearly. I love South Africa to bits. I love everything about South Africa. I love its beauty. I love its people. And I just wish racism will end. And that means racism by all parties, black, colored, and white. That is what we need. I think that a lot of the racism is passed down from generation to generation and embedded in their kids. But these days it's much better. I mean, our kids play together. We live together. We basically we have brides together. We have family functions together. I think that everybody is forgiven. Well, a lot of people that have given, but there is a few people, and politicians do divide us. And I always said I'll vote for somebody that will stand for everybody, black, white, and colored. And that is why I'm liking Gator McKenzie so much. his policies and everything that he stands for. He stands for all South Africans. He doesn't stand for one South African. And that is the only way we're going to grow as people. I think, in my view, I just wish racism would end. I'm tired of racism. I'm tired of it. And we need to move on. We can't forget, but we can forgive.
Yo, guys, I found a fix for racism in South Africa. I was thinking about this. My team, we went for a team building the other day. Yo, and now the guys are talking like they trust each other now. Yo, it's amazing. It works good. Ne? So I was thinking, what if we did something like that? What if we had one big braai there in Sea Point? All of us, black, white, colored. We can invite the Indians. They can drive from Durban if they want. There's lots of parking there. It's fine. Hey, then we make teams, and the teams must be black, white, colored, mixed. It must be mixed. Ne? Then what we do is, we first start with the tummy, because they say the best way to a person's heart is through the tummy. Hey, so we got to feed each other. So the black people, you feed each other our favorite cuisines. So like the black people must bring their chicken, and the coloreds must bring their Cape Malay, and then the white people must bring their unflavored foods. You know that. Yeah, okay. Anyways, you get the point. So then we must do the egg throwing, Boer sports. You know, like the white people can teach the other people the Boer sports, and the black people can teach the rest of us like how to jive. Like I'm a piano jive. You know, like yeah, we must jive. But then the colored people must teach the rest of them. Must bring their cars. We make a nice place. Then the colored people must teach us the spinning stuff. You know that stuff. Yeah, guys. I think that will fix everything, guys. I think we must do that just because we'll just get to understand each other. You know what I mean? So I think we must do it. So let me know, guys, if you're in, then we make a plan.